Hi, everybody. Greetings from the streets of LA. I was just talking to my friend, and I'm in a really good mood, and I was like, I'm going to hop on Instagram Live. How are you? Let me see if I can see what you guys are writing. Yay. Hi, everybody. Hold on. My sunglasses are on because just ever since the tour, I've looked really tired. Despite appearances on Instagram from the new show, which is so exciting, I just have the most amazing glam guy, John Lickfelt. He's like a miracle worker. That and the lighting team at Nickelodeon. I'm like, thank you guys, because, like, seriously, don't think anybody looks like they do in real life. Wait, let me try that sentence again. Don't think anybody looks like you think they look on TV in real life, because we don't. Well, some people do. Some people do. Ciara looks gorgeous every minute of the day. She's like a porcelain doll. Love from Boston. I love... Oh, the glasses. Yeah, so the glasses are my friend Cade. Oh, wait, let me see if I can get... Oh, yeah, I can scroll up the comments. There we go. My friend Cade and his husband Brian and a company called Coco and Carmen. So you guys, you can get them too. Somebody loves the nails. I love them. They're about on the edge, so I have to redo them. I got them done on the tour in the bus, which felt very rock and roll. That was such a fun day because I remember it so well. I was sipping green tea, getting my nails done by these awesome girls. One of them was named Tiffany, actually. Yeah, it just felt very decadent and rock and roll and was super relaxing. Let me see. Pensacola, Florida. My mom is out that way. Hold on. I think I need to take these off. Okay, even though, look how purple, it doesn't look this purple. It didn't look this purple in the mirror. It's like light purple, and I'm getting my roots done tomorrow. This is just like the Instagram where I like talk about how tired I look, but I'll just stop that now. Let me see. Somebody said you look amazing in real life. I'm telling you right now. Come on, guys, look. This is like the road. Oh, yeah, I'm putting these back on. I'm putting these back on. That's my total insecurity. The road beats you up a little because you don't see a lot of sunlight. You're like between the buses and the venues, you get kind of, oh my God, this is the best question ever. What happens to the bus after the tour? And the Girls Night Out video. Okay, so Girls Night Out fan video, the deadline's August 1st, and we will be editing, so it might take like a week after that. The actual Girls Night Out video that I will star in and, you know, lip sync in, and hopefully a few celebrity cameos that I'm looking to get in the video with some of my girls. Yes, I have a squad, a little bit of a squad. We don't all go hang out, but it'll be a great chance to hang out at the video shoot. But, okay, my friend Jimmy Van Patten just texted me. I need to see them all here. To answer the question, what happens to the bus? So the buses are like basically property of a company, a rental company, and they'll go get rented out to someone else. But I don't know who or when. Our bus originally that we were supposed to have, there were issues, so they got me another bus, and it ended up being Kid Rock's bus. But the funny part about that is the entire time I thought it was Chris Rock's bus, but it was Kid Rock's bus. Little different. How was it hanging with those 5 dorks from Boston, you ask? Those guys are amazing. So there wasn't a lot of hang time. It was more like in passing because, truth be known, I would sleep all day, you guys. I don't know if you really realize how much sleep I needed to do what I did on stage, mainly because of the health issues I've had in the past decade. And every day was really, really, it's what I talked about in the post that I did toward the end of the tour, on the last day of the tour. It took extreme diligence. I mean, I'm not going to lie. There was low battery. Here we go. Extreme amount of sleep. So I didn't see them a lot because when I was sleeping, they were doing meet and greets because they are Energizer bunnies. But they are the most... Oh, thank you. Someone loves my fashion. I decided to really like step up my fashion game all of a sudden because why not? Like the extensions and why not? It's so much fun. But yeah, I used to think it was mutually exclusive to be fashionable and to be like a power chick in business. And then you realize when you put the two together, it's deadly. So girls, just knock it out of the park. Do it. Have fun. And again, like my hair took a beating on tour. Miracles get worked every day with ponytail extensions and things. And it's fun. Like while it's healing, we can still create a look. But where was I? Oh, the guys. Yeah. So what I love about the guys is that, who I still call the boys, but they're just so genuine. Like, to give you an example, my mom, when she came to the last show, when Joey saw her, he went, oh, and he reached out his arms and just made her feel like $1 million. And she needed that day. And Donnie went up to her and said, Diane, I have so much respect for your legacy and everything you've done with Deb, and it's an honor to have you here at our show. And when he said that, I cried because he means it. Because too many young artists these days do not respect legacy and history. They don't know their musical history. Without giving away anything on the show, shamelessly and unapologetically telling you about the show. I'm not even going to say plugging, because it's not plugging. It's such a good fit, and I'm so passionate about it that it's the only things I ever want to do in my career anymore. There was one of the family acts yesterday that really was rooted in like rock history. And I went up to them after and I'm like, I appreciate you guys so much. And they were super young and they knew me, which again shows they know beyond just 10 years ago of music, or 5 years ago, or 5 minutes ago. So, I appreciated them for paying homage to the greats, pay homage to everyone from Jimi Hendrix to Living Colour to the Rolling Stones to Lenny Kravitz and everyone in between, while putting a modern spin on it. So that's what I really love about this show. Like, you're going to see all kinds of acts that are coming with greatness, and they're all from the same household. Like, it's so incredible. Okay, let me see what else. I need to scroll. When will you be back in Chicago? I have no idea, but you know what? My new best friend, David Dobrik, is from Chicago, or the area. Somebody asked, oh my God, Debbie for president. I say Donnie Wahlberg for president, and by the way, I'm not kidding. That guy can run the country. Someone asked about the Lyme stuff. You know what? It's an ongoing process. So when so for me, and I think anyone dealing with any kind of chronic illness, inflammatory, immune disorder, or any of those things, and I try to talk about it like this in this very light way so that we all don't like fall into a vortex or a dark hole and curl up in a ball and don't live our lives. Because I'm here to tell you it's possible. But again, extreme diligence. You have to be listening to that voice for clues every minute of every day. You need to be begging. Look, people think like celebrity and money gets you all this stuff with your health. It doesn't. There are people that, practitioners I needed to see on the road that have a waiting list for a year, and I had to beg them to get me in. And I think what happens is, no. Joey, the attack dog. Trooper's visiting with a friend today. Hold on. Sit, Joey, sit. But I think that when you put yourself out there for your health, with your health, and you show a practitioner that you are really serious about healing, you can really get them on your team. But again, you have to be so passionate about it, and they have to know you're going to follow through, because a lot of people go for one treatment, they do one round of supplements, then they don't want to keep it up, and look, all the stuff is expensive. Like, at some point, I think if I went to Washington to lobby for anything, it would be for coverage for alternative health care, because alternative has now become the mainstream. There are so many doctors that are DOs, that are acupuncturists, I went to my regular MD in New York, and he's like, I can do acupuncture on you. I'm like, what? So, I think that modality of healing and treatment is everything. But for me, diet is so important. So I became a normal person, meaning like we all fall prey to, like, when we finish something, like the tour for me was 3 months of extreme focus and at times extreme torture to figure out how I was going to get myself onto the stage. When I finished, I felt this overwhelming sense of relief, but you want to go celebrate with crappy food. And again, if someone's dealing with some kind of like an inflammatory or immune disease, you don't go and force pies on them, right? But for some reason, Lyme eludes people in that way. They think like, oh, you got bit by a tick and you're taking some antibiotics and whatever. The diet thing is like everything. But being too rigid can emotionally mess you up. So rather than saying, oh, I'm going to have one cookie and whatever, I went off the rails for a week. Like, there was not, I went on the, no carb or a piece of sugar is safe diet. Like we all do. And then I was visiting my mom for the first time since before the tour, since everything happened with her. So I was totally stress eating. And again, this all relates back to your question about Lyme. So I just flared my body. I went into pain. I went into restless sleep. I went into kind of feeling underwater. And I knew that I had to come down from the tour quickly and turn it around quickly for the TV show. And so not having that emotional moment to really let down and then regroup was challenging. However, I'm grateful because I heard myself whining about it, which you never want to do as a performer because I'm eternally grateful. But you also, if you scripted your life, you might go, oh, I would have added a few more days here. But that's everybody. We always wish we had another hour or another day. And so because I didn't have that, at one point I was like, oh my God, I don't have enough time. And then I went, God or the universe or whatever all you believe in out there. I believe in both. I was like, somebody set this up so that I wouldn't have time to go further off the rails and have to have a further uphill climb. So truth be known, the first episode we shot of the show, I didn't feel my best. I felt like I had a weird layer, in my, I know I'm lean, but everybody, if they eat wrong, they start feeling bloaty. So that was me. And I was I just felt uncomfortable. I didn't feel in my tip-top camera-ready shape and all that. And then I decided to go easy on myself. I was and by the way, you guys, I wrote a song last year that was Go Easy on Yourself When the World Doesn't. I'm hoarse right now too, that's another story. But I really decided even though I'm on camera, I'm in a life process. And so I find that if you allow yourself to be in your life process and don't worry all the time about the aesthetics or about the timeline you think you're supposed to have to get from point A to point B, it's going to help you in the long run. So I decided to stop panicking because nothing good comes from panic. Because look, even with this, I have the lines and the stuff, and I was panicking. I was like, I don't want to do Botox. Maybe I should. Da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay, slow down. You're I hate referencing age, but I'm the age that I am. I've been on this planet that long. Aesthetically, you don't look the same as you looked when you were 20. In some ways you look better, and in some ways maybe we're all kind of trying to cope with the fact that people are living a Botox life and a filtered life, and we're so used to seeing that now that looking in the actual mirror becomes I think if this was my mom's day and age, I'd be I look pretty darn good for my age, and I still feel that way, but so everybody, I have those moments. But I decided to not function from a place of being emotional or sleep deprived or on a crappy diet. So I've just started to go, okay, what are the steps I can take to feel my best? And again, going back to the Lyme thing, which for me it's really about overall health. It's how can I not be in a crash? How can I be functioning at my best? And take baby steps. It's I do best with a simple, bland diet. I do best if I can get a certain amount of sleep. I do best if I start to exercise. My body doesn't always cooperate, and even though you saw me doing what I was doing on stage, I couldn't do any exercise beyond that. So it felt a little shot out of a cannon every night, and I started to work out again 3 days ago. Started with a brisk walk. I went to swimming. I popped into the hotel gym. I have to remember to refrain. It's not the time where I can do Fibro Lyme runner. So many doctors don't believe in Lyme. It's awful. It's true. It's true. It's such a crazy thing. It's such an elusive illness because there are so many roads of treatment. It's not just you do this or this and you get well. It's about your own personal overall health and system. Look who decided to join me. Yeah, Joey. He's such a good dog. But yeah, it is awful. There's a lot of doctors who don't treat Lyme properly. They bombard your system with medications, and then the toxins are flaring every other thing that comes along with Lyme at the same time. The first time that I got put on 80,000 medications, I became really thin, too thin, and felt like I was being so wrung out. It's like, we're killing the bad stuff. We're killing the good stuff too. And so that was really, really challenging. And then I learned, like, instead of just killing stuff in your body, you have to keep building your body. And I really feel for, let me put these back on. I really feel for people with children and 9-to-5 full-time jobs, because it's like, even though my life gets crazy, it goes in chapters. So I know that, like, in a month, I'm going to have a moment to rest. And actually, I just said no to a bunch of stuff because, and like everybody else, I need to, like, have my career going and make money to keep my business going. I fund my own albums and projects and things, but I decided to say no to a bunch of things, even projects that friends are doing. And I said, if I don't take that moment, I'm going to get into big trouble. And I know that. And so for all of you guys who, work and have full-time jobs and have kids, that moment might be you're taking 3 hours on the weekend. But if there's any way you can do it, and enlist the help of your friends who understand and support you, because everyone doesn't understand it either, again, because they see me like, I started saying to my friends, just believe what you see on Instagram. It's okay, because that's like a good picture of health to have me in. But the truth of the matter is, my real friends know, like, if I say, look, I can't, they go, we get it, rest, take care of yourself. So find those friends or neighbors or whoever it is that can take your kids for 3 hours, whatever that is, and take that meditation break, that mental break, that physical break. I think if you don't build that in a little bit, it gets you in trouble. But again, I feel for anybody. Will I be on Hallmark this Christmas? Not this Christmas, because the schedule got kind of out of control to do anything for this Christmas. But we are talking about next year, a couple of things. Oh, you guys are totally. Oh my God, you need to be a motivational speaker for real. You inspire us. Good, bad, it's real, and we appreciate and love you. Thank you. I want to do that. I feel like lately that's been a real calling for me, because like I've said in a lot of these videos that I've made, it's like, I do think it's doing people a disservice to pretend that life looks as good as it does through a filter. It's not like that for anybody. And again, I go to the side of, I'm a lucky person. I'm very fortunate. In a lot of ways, we create our own fortune. In a lot of ways, sometimes I feel like I just stepped in it, and I'm like, thank you. I do feel like I've lived a lot more real life than maybe you guys are aware of. At some point, I might write a book about it. We'll see. What's funny is, every time I've gone to write a book, I've wanted to do things to move forward and not really sit around looking back. But there might be a moment for that. Let me see. They're rolling in. Lots of love you. Somebody said me and Donnie should do a podcast. I love that idea. I love Donnie. Wait, somebody requesting to be in my live video. I know, I've never done this. I'm going to try. Oh my God, request. Novocaine. Here's Novocaine. And here's Fibro Runner. And here's Andrea. Let me see if I can do. Andrea's unable to join. Okay. Hi, Andrea. Let me see. Novocaine, greatest person in the world. He's so sweet. You're so sweet, Novocaine. Somebody just wrote Shake Your Love, which I love. That title. Somebody's at solo tour. So, like, for those of you who follow me all the time, you know that Joey needs to be in this because he's too cute. Know that I do, like, one-off dates all throughout the year when I can. And, I am working toward that pop moment where you do a single, and something strikes and it's a hit, and you do an album, and then you can do a tour. So I am looking toward that, and I definitely want to do more international, because kind of abandoned international touring for a while to do theater, and I don't want to say I regret it, because that was the path I was on at that time, but I really want to get back overseas, Europe and Asia and Australia. So that'll all happen. Let's see. Would you do a duet with Tiffany? I would love to, and even more than a duet, because I feel like our styles are so different. I'd love to write with her. I think that she's so specific in her genre right now, and I totally respect that. I feel like I could kind of flip over to her genre a little bit, but I think that us writing together, especially after spending time on this tour, because we realized how much we have in common as women, just women in life. And yeah, we got to really lean on each other in a lot of ways, which was amazing. Let me see something about a podcast. Whoever wants me on a podcast, look for Enef Buzz on Instagram and hit her up, DM her. There's a lot of people with podcasts out there. I'm not doing any press right this second. It's kind of what I was saying about being seasonal with what I'm doing. I'm doing the focus on the TV show right now. Probably when I go to promote the TV show, I'll do interviews, podcasts, and things like that. Jenny Ray, you saw my post. Yes, I did. I see your posts all the time, Jenny. Oh, Vegas, October 2nd through 5th. I hope you go on tour. What else can I tell you guys? Oh, one last thing, and then I'm going to go and walk my doggy here. And, oh my God, look at him. Look at him laying on it. How cute is he? He's going to bark at these people going by. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. He's like my little protector. One last thing, I'm just like prefacing the fact that I'm going to be making a video talking all about the Bros documentary, After the Screaming Stops. I don't know if you guys have seen it, and if you haven't, see it. And I will tell you more about it. I'll tell you a little bit right now. Knowing Matt and Luke now for 30 years, and having just toured with New Kids, like, we are all survivors. And there were very few young people who had that experience at that time. And this documentary, like, just what struck me was the really deep, raw emotion they showed as brothers and human beings, and knowing them both, and knowing, like, I see them on camera and I'm like, that's really them being really, really raw and candid. I mean, there's no barrier. And that takes a lot, I think, especially for men. I just think men are raised to be a little more guarded. And women are, like, raised to be more emotionally open and available. And so to see that was just amazing. And to kind of relive their early journey and then to bear witness to their journey now. I mean, and I'm familiar with it anyway. But the concert they got together to do a couple years ago, I was watching that in the documentary as a spectator, really, to see how that all came together and the creative differences and their differences as brothers. And, I'm going to talk more in depth about it, but that's just a little preview of what's to come, because I really, really loved it. I've watched it twice. Now I watch it if I want a good cry, because it's that emotional. It's called After the Screaming Stops, because you hear an interviewer saying, well, what are you going to do after the screaming stops? And the fact that here they are over 30 years later with packed arenas and the screaming has not stopped, it's kind of the ultimate validation. Somebody talked about, like, doing Lyme conferences, and that would be really interesting. And I think that falls under motivational speaking. I mean, I think it's kind of all part of the same health, wellness, and spirituality. 10%. I don't carry around a brick. I need to. But, yeah, I often question, like, for myself, did Lyme take me down, or was I so taken down because I wasn't taking care of myself that Lyme was able to get in there and take me over? And again, that's my personal question, because I never, ever claim to know anybody else's journey. I'm very careful about that, because somebody could be going around perfectly healthy, perfectly emotionally healthy, physically healthy, and get sick. But for me, I think it was a wake-up call to change a lot of toxic things in my life, and to change what my idea of healthy was, and to stop trying to be everything to everyone and running myself around. So for me, that's my constant journey. I've not even seen anyone for dinner in LA while I've been here yet, because I needed can I whistle some songs? Okay, that's a funny question. I'll tell you why. I was in The King and I, and I needed a stunt whistler for whistle a happy tune. I can't whistle. Wait. I'm doing well. I can't get up to that note. Very bad pitch on the whistling. That was the best whistling I've ever done. The other thing that I'm going to do soon, thank you, Joey, is one form of exercise and emotional expression and kind of like mental health exercise I've been doing is I've been doing like interpretive dances. I laugh saying it because it's so funny. It's like the dance that I never got to do on Dancing with the Stars, you guys. I'm going to start posting some of those, or at least one of those. I just turn on music I love. Sometimes songs that I know, and sometimes I'll put on a song I've never heard, and I'll interpret it in real time. And it's not that I can do like amazing high kicks or elongate my body in a real dancer kind of way, but it's like fun. It's fun to express and emote, so I'm gonna share that with you, and then maybe you guys want to kind of do that as well. It's super fun to do in the privacy of your own room. Somebody said your love and light is so bright. That is so incredible. Oh, somebody asked if I had to choose my favorite NKOTB song and Tiffany song, what will it be? I am going to, somebody said you were so strong. Thank you. I don't always feel that way, but every day I wake up and I go, this is a new opportunity. And I always loved the expression, success is going from disappointment to disappointment with undiminished enthusiasm. So I literally will feel despondent in the middle of the night. I might call a friend or leave a voice memo for a friend and say, like, I feel like literally going to die. Like, I don't know what to do. And I'm freaking out. And then I meditate down as best as I can. And I'm reading a sign right now, actually, on the streets of LA that says, not to spoil the ending, but everything is going to be okay. Isn't that amazing? So I remind myself of that. And I wake up and I go, wow, yesterday's gone. And today's a whole new opportunity. And all the changes I might want to make probably won't happen today. But I can start, and that's the best we all can do. Okay, so to close out, to ask you guys, hi Netherlands. Somebody said, got a jet. Acoustic pop series, yeah, for sure. I'm really, really hoarse right now. I'm just kind of recovering from the crappy food and the tour and the travel. And so eventually, yes, cameos, acoustic pop. Sydney, Australia. Okay, so last thing. So favorite NKOTB song and Tiffany song. My favorite Tiffany song ever is Hold an Old Friend's Hand. And I think a mashup of We Could Be Together and Hold an Old Friend's Hand, just think about it, you guys, would be amazing. Hey, that's okay. I did do Dancing with the Stars. They said you should. Come on around and get yourself together. Won't you come on around? Hold an old friend's hand. If you said jump, I'd say how high. I told you I was forced. But anyway, those two songs together would be amazing. NKOTB. Oh my God. See, when they busted out Dirty Dancing on the tour. Oh, and Sexify My Love. Love that song. Seriously love that song. Like, I loved that whole moment for them. But Dirty Dancing was a favorite. Like, I was so excited they did that on tour. I just love how modern they are. I love the word modern. Use it a lot. But they don't rest on their like retro laurels. They are super current. To me, if a lot of these bands came out, like if they came out right now with something new and no one knew them from their past, people would probably think they were 30 and accept them as a new act. And they'd be up there with 5 Seconds of Summer and Dan and Jonas and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They look and sound better than ever, like for any age, for having had success or not having success. I love that about them. And I feel that way about Bros too, and that's why I love this documentary. And anyway, yeah, so there you go. All right, seeing any last comments? Hi, Tammy. Hi, I saw Linton in there. I love my Deadheads. I love you guys so much. I love that we got to spend so much time together on this tour. Me and Joey are going to sign off. We're going to nap it down and then do some exercise. Right, Joey? Right? Okay. I love you guys. This was so much fun hanging out with you. And I'll keep you posted about America's Most Musical Family, about the air dates and everything. I'm having the time of my life. Sierra is a doll and a diva. Diva in the best sense of the word, meaning she just gives you glamour and fashion every minute. And it's effortless. She doesn't have to try. And David Dobrik is a total sweetheart. And admittedly, I didn't know about him before the show, as a lot of people in my generation didn't, although a lot did. But I was so happy to see that he's like not some entitled, spoiled kid. He's a nice guy. And he feels grateful to be so successful and grateful to be on the show. And Nick Lachey is like, he reminds me of Dick Clark because he does what he does. There's no drama. There's no fanfare. He's a pro. He's a family guy. Such a nice guy. I was like, oh my God, I'm working with grown-up professionals and having a great time. And I'm around young talent and talent of all generations from families. And I grew up singing with my sisters and wrote this musical with Karen and my niece, Rebecca, that's going up this summer. I'll keep you posted on that as well. So, and of course I sing with my dad. So to see all these families singing and making music together has been like, what an unbelievable gift. I have the best seat in the house for this talent and to help nurture and maybe help shape some lives, which is incredible. So yes, to Nickelodeon, I love it. And I love that I hosted the Kids' Choice Awards all these years ago with Brian Robbins, who runs Nickelodeon now. Anyway, I'll leave you with that, you guys. More soon. I'll probably be doing more of these. Interpretive dance coming your way, and my recap of the Bros documentary coming your way, all in the next, I'm going to say 5 days or so. All right?